What's good, gente? Thank you guys once again for tuning in. Like always, as you guys can see on the thumbnail, yes, we got a part two. The only reason we have a part two is because old boy Taz just doesn't know how to act, right? I did get some messages yesterday, of course. He tried to bark. I mean, I don't know, you guys seen the little short that I did of him, right? That's exactly how he was, man. But I will display the messages. I will read them for you guys so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. At the same time, he also did something this morning, right? If you haven't tuned in to Easy Real, I guess he ended up running up to Easy Real and ended up turning down that fade. I don't care how he tries to justify it or who he had to pay to supposedly make him agree with what he said, right? But my boy Izzy Real ended up showing what was really going on, right? And at the end of the day, man, old boy Taz, man, I just feel sorry for him, bro, to be quite real. But with all that being said, gente, before I get started on what's going on, let's make sure to hit them likes, make sure to subscribe, hit that follow, hit that notification bell, and all that good stuff, right? You guys already be knowing, man. I highly appreciate every single one of you guys. But as you guys can see right here on the thumbnail, man, this is what was said to your boy Conejo. Well, I didn't burn anybody for money, and I'll be sending you right now the screenshots from G saying that I don't know her shit. I offered to pay her back, and this is what she texted me. So F you and what you got to say about me. I didn't pass up no fade while with Mile High. I told you to come through and I didn't turn my shirt inside out. At the end of the day, you're a dropout. You ain't active, so stop trying to act like you are. You don't know shit about the dogs, so keep the dogs out your mouth. At the end of the day, you couldn't hang being a effing norteño or norte, so you dropped out. And then of course the message that he did play was the screenshot, I mean, that he did send me of a message was technically of old girl letting him know, man, she felt bad for him, bro. You know, and in all reality, man, after seeing what I seen this morning, the clip that I got and what I actually was able to figure out after talking to the homie, man, is that old boy Taz is really going through it, man. And it's a sad situation, right? Because if you're homeless or having to go through the struggle, it's hard, man. So I understand where most of this hate and anger is coming out of, right? But yeah, let's continue. So he says, so the next time you say anything, get your facts straight. Get both sides of the stories. You should have stayed active if you were going to try to act like you are and call out Izzy. I called out Izzy, sorry about that, and I didn't F back down from my high. I run it with him too and you. Damn, good lord. It was, and I still have F screenshots of Fumes live that he put it on there. So if you're disrespecting, keep dogs out your mouth, you effing dropout. Good lord. You know, I felt hurt. And if you guys were wondering what I did reply, I just put a laughing face. If he does want to show the messages on someone else's platform, go ahead, right? I did put a laughing face and I told him, you're funny and get off the pipe. That's technically all I said to him. This morning, of course, after a certain incident, he did send me some videos and he did go fucking yapping. And I guarantee you he ended up sending that clip to a lot of people, not just myself, right? He ended up sending it to multiple people. The homie ended up already making a reaction on what went down, right? But at the end of the day, when it comes to Taz, man, and his little hoorah that he likes to throw out, right? At the end of the day, I don't take him as a threat, man. I just feel bad for the dude. I honestly feel bad for him. I know that he's going through some shit, right? Of course, I'm not going to put out there, you know, he's going through some shit. And it seems, man, that he's also homeless out there in the calles, man. So I just feel bad in general. You know, if he does need help, till this day, right? And not on some scam shit. Nah. Just be straight up about it, bro. You know, they don't try to say like, oh, I need Fedia for this. Nah, if you really need help and you're really in need of some support in some type of way, stop scamming the gente, homie. There's people that would actually help out, and and try to see what we can do, homie. You know what I'm saying? We can't do too much, especially when it comes to individuals that are scums. But at the same time, we are human beings, homie. So we'll see what we can do, you know. But you actually gotta just be straight up about it and stop woofing and acting like someone you really ain't online, right? By him calling me a dropout, it doesn't really affect me, you know. I technically never really dropped out, so I don't get that part, right? Some people may throw that shot and try to talk shit, but technically, the writers are technically somewhat similar to the Bulldogs, right? But I'm not gonna get into that subject, right? Because at the end of the day, the Bulldogs don't claim this dude, right? Even though he likes to say that he was F14 and he was all this, right? It sounds good, carnal. It sounds good for the gram, right? But in our reality, homie, we know that fool ain't really with no business or with that activity, right? So now I'm gonna play these clips that I was mentioning that were sent to me, right? I'm gonna play them real quick so that you guys can see what I'm talking about, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think about it, right? I also have messages that I won't put yet unless you guys want to see them. I didn't have time to actually add it on this, but I will put them up if you guys want to see what he said, right? But he just continues to woof and talk his smack, right? But at the end of the day, let's get to these clips so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
Was that fool Izzy real right here right now that got punked? Didn't he get on the bus, dog? Didn't that fool get on the bus like a little bitch?
Yeah.
That fool's a little bitch, right? Izzy real on the bus being a little bitch, running like a motherfucking bitch. Fuck Izzy real.
So after seeing that video, right, I was like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? So of course I jammed up Izzy and I was like, what happened, G? And the homie did give me the get down of what went down. He also made a video about it, right, explaining that he ended up coming across this fool Taz and that he was actually the first one to jam him up. Like, what's up, G? All this talk about, you know, you're ready to run fades and all this, right? But at the same time, after he told him this, oh boy, apparently he was willing to run the fade, right? But he was walking backwards and trying to call other people, right? Just making the scene. And I've been put on that spot, man, where people try to even call me out my name. And I'm just looking at them like, fool, if you were really with that activity, you would stop talking and just get the fuck off. Just get off, homie. So on that video, that's what I just seen, man. I seen old boy that was a scared little puppy. And this is no disrespect, man, to the Fresno Bulldogs, you know what I'm saying? Because I know a real Bulldog would have just got off, homie, if they have any issues. At least the ones I kick it with and the ones that come around me, they with the business, homie, and they would have just got off. Especially if there was beef or any of this shit. But that's just tends to show you, man, the type of character old boy is. He's all talk, you know what I'm saying? So he ain't gonna do nothing but make a scene. You know, if he was maybe with other people, hey, maybe he would have got off, right? But at the same time, that's not him being a man, because a man would have just got off on himself, you know what I'm saying? Especially if they feel a certain way. At the same time, like I said earlier, I do feel bad for Taz. The homie did say that he had a duffel bag, and then he pretty much looked like he was homeless, right? That he was on the push. So I do feel bad about that, right? I'll be quite real, man. At the same time, we human. But we did remove this vato off the yarda, so he's technically not welcome, right? There was a few people telling me to let him on in case he has something to say. I will go live tonight, and if he does jump on, I might let him on, right? I'll probably let him on just to hear what he has to say, of course, if he starts yapping. So in case you're listening, Taz, just keep it to a minimum, homie. You know, let other people speak as well, and you'll be all right, man. I'll let you jump on, and I won't tell you what Dubs told me, man. You have your own platform, right? Because technically you don't, but you could get a platform. You just gotta be a little bit more game tight, I guess. But with all that being said, gente, what do you guys think, man, after watching those videos and those little clips? Do you really think Tass is with that activity, man? Because let's be real, man. He had old boy right there and then. He was over there filming, like, hey, what you buying? Like, you know, while he's leaving. Like, are you for reals, G? If you were really with that activity, homie, since the sheriff's or the courthouse, right, happens to have cops there, the best thing that you could have done was get in that bus, homie, and follow Izzy wherever the fuck he was going, G, and run a fade somewhere away from the police station, right? Second option was just to get off, homie. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be with that activity on site. I seen the messages, man. I seen all that good stuff, right? And technically, homie, it was a disappointment on those little videos. And I will be posting them again towards the end so you guys can see it, gente, that old boy was all bark. You know what I'm saying? No bite. You know, he isn't a Fresno Bulldog. So him telling me to keep Fresno, or the dogs out of my mouth, I always talk about them with respect, homie, because that's all what they got coming, right? At the end of the day, I know a lot of real ones. Of course, there's a few weenies, and Taz would be put on that scale with them, but at the same time, he ain't no dog, homie. He could say what he wants, but ain't no real bulldog ever told me like, hey, homie, Taz is a Fresno perro, homie. So let's give him a little bit of respect. Chales, homie, never heard that once. And another thing that I kind of wanted to point out was that Gunnar did mention a couple of times that he had family members in Fresno that supposedly were bulldogs. So I started thinking, right? This might be a relative of Gunnar, homie. He might be someone that he's related to or claims to be related to. And that's why he acts the way he acts. I could be wrong, but I honestly think this might be Gunnar's primo, and he actually has those effects, or, you know what I mean, that they believe some of the shit that they say. And they act super different on social media to what it really is in real life. We already know, man, they softer than cotton. So with all that being said, gente, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Taz did lose it again, man. As you guys can see, he's over there on a sick one. Fresno is a small area, and as you guys seen and heard on my other videos, man, Izzy real is in Fresno, right? And it was proven today that the world's really small, man. So sometimes when you talk about a certain individual on a certain way, you might cross paths, right? And let's not do what this fool did, man. And if you're gonna feel a certain way, do what you gotta do, homie, and don't be like this vato. So with all that being said, gente, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit a thumbs up for your boy. Make sure to subscribe, hit that follow, hit that notification bell in case we go live, right? At the end of the day, we might let him tap in for only one time, right? Because he has been removed from the YouTube Yarda, and the reglas for the YouTube Yarda will be coming up soon. So make sure to stay tuned in on everything that goes on right here on the E.B.K and Conejo's profiles. So with all that being said, gente, this is your boy Conejo, and I'll see you guys on the next one. We out.
Was that fool Izzy real right here, right now, that got punked? Didn't he get on the bus, dog? Didn't that fool get on the bus like a little bitch?
Yeah.
That fool's a little bitch, right? Izzy real on the bus being a little bitch, running like a motherfucking bitch. Fuck Izzy real.
I'm sorry, gente. I just had to add another little piece. I honestly believe old boy either paid him, because he looked confused as fuck. He was like, who you talking to, homie? You know what I'm saying? The dude in the wheelchair. Man, I can't believe this dude ran to go get help from the dude in the wheelchair. That dude's crazy. I always heard stories in prison, right? Like, hey, you got to be trucha with that fool with the wheelchair, right? But not until today I actually seen it go down. This fool actually asked for help. All right, gente. I'll see you guys in the next one. We out.